Hello.
Hello. Let's actually pull up the comments. All right. Um, I see two people are here. Please say hi in the comments. So we know that you're here. And we'll just start by introducing ourselves. Hi. Thank you, Ali, for being here. Woo! But yeah, I had to pretend in the Discord that actually I'm also going to set this time a timer just because we can end up yapping and not getting to work. Yeah. So it goes. Well, thank you for stepping by. Okay. It's possible that everybody already knows us, but we'll just introduce ourselves anyway. So I'm here with Melissa. Hi. It's your first time, right?
Yeah, this is my first time streaming today, so I'm nervous but excited to see how it goes.
Yay! Okay. So just quickly, I'm Tanya, and I am. Well, it says in my little info card, it says that I'm drafting my YA fantasy, but technically I'm not today. I'm still in the world building stuff, but yeah. But this is the project that I'm still working on. Yeah. How about you?
Yeah, I am outlining Project Mushrooms. That's an adult cozy fantasy. So I fast drafted for a couple months there, and now I am going through and kind of making the outline for draft one.
Oh, that is amazing. I think I saw. Did you have like a mood board? No, you had like a little short or something that gave an intro to
Oh,
your
yeah, I
project.
did.
Sounded really good.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I feel
that's
like ever
cool.
since I finished fast drafting, I stepped away from it a little bit, and so like my memories of making other videos or shorts have like gone out my head, and now I'm coming back to it after a couple of weeks away, and now I'm like, okay, what was this project again?
Right. So when you say how fast drafting, how fast was it?
So I think technically, so I started the project in January. But between that time to now, I got married and went on my honeymoon. So there was a lot of stuff going on there.
Yeah.
So technically, it's like 5 to 6 months is like I got to 50,000 words, but I'm very much an underwriter. And so now I'm kind of now that I've written like the major beats and kind of like where I want the story to go. Now I'm outlining so that I have like actual knowledge of the story and where we're going, and then that way I can write the draft one with that in mind.
Yes, that sounds amazing.
We do love underwriting.
Yes. I feel like I both underwrite and overwrite. Yeah. So Rita, what are you working on? Also, congrats on getting married, by the
Thank you.
way. Yeah. Um, right. So, while hopefully, like anybody who is here, please say hi in the comments and let us know what you're working on. So, I still am working on getting some sort of order into these notes. Um, like, I don't know, it was going really well. Like, I was handwriting some stuff and kind of condensing all of these messy thoughts. And at some point, I lost the enthusiasm. So I'm kind of happy to be here because this is going to give me a little push.
Yeah. I saw like your creative flow that you were kind of getting into that like creator myth that you were talking about in one of your videos.
Yes.
That seems like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was so much fun. Yeah. And very surprising also. Sarita is still outlining again. Right. What chapter are you on now? Yeah, I don't know. I kind of loved it, but I also had like for this one piece, I had the idea to have this creation myth, and the other one, the idea kind of a history book. And now I'm like, I don't know what could be my spiel for this, you know? So
Yeah. Would it be more like how in Fourth Wing you have like the little snippets at the beginning of the chapters, and you can kind of like weave that into like the narrative?
Listen, I haven't thought about it yet. I also haven't read those, but I think I know what you mean. Probably like a
like a little
like epigraph.
excerpt.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I think it would be really cool. It's not what I was thinking, what I would do with it, but I think it could be really cool. Character actions, right? Yes.
Yeah, I feel like that's like the hardest thing, right? Is like making sure that you can make sure that you know what your characters are doing, and then they're not like acting unruly as you're like writing things down, like go off on their own and do something else instead.
Yeah. Okay. I'm actually curious also to. I feel like I didn't properly listen before because it's like it's a little bit difficult. But yeah, so your project, it's called Mushrooms, and like I'm imagining we're like in a forest. I don't know, a witch living in a tree or something like that.
Yeah, so
that's
the vibe. I'm calling it Project Mushroom because I don't have like a working title for it yet. I guess that is the working title, but Project Mushroom is a adult cozy fantasy. So essentially, the pitch is kind of a witch and apothecary owner fall in love and go on an adventure together. But we're thinking like small town, or not small town, like small fantasy vibes, like very Shire based, like the apothecary owner works inside like this very big mushroom that's like the building.
Yes.
Yeah. And there's, like little cottages all like along the town of Thistle. And it's got like cobblestone paths, and there's like all these different smaller cottages or like villages along the way. And like huge forests and magical creatures that live in the forest.
I love it. It reminds me, I know this is adult, but it reminds me a lot of this children's book from like, I think it's a German thing, but there was also like something about little bears living in a tree or something. I don't know. I love these. Also, I feel like in a lot of picture books, you have these like huge mushrooms, trees, and like people or creatures living in them.
Yeah.
I kind of love it. Yeah.
Yes, that's
you can do so many fun things. Yes.
Yeah, I've been using like little like red mushrooms with like spotted white dots on them. Like that's kind of the vibe, even though like that one I think is a poisonous mushroom.
Yes, it is poisonous.
Yeah. So I kind of like the duality of like something poisonous, but also being something that can cure, because like she lives inside that apothecary and then can like cure.
That fits.
Yeah.
Yes. And also, I imagine that. What is the word? Apothecarian?
Yeah. I've been struggling with that too. I'm like, maybe it's just like she's an herbalist technically. Yeah.
Okay. I imagine that like an herbalist would also have to have some knowledge of like poisonous plants and stuff like that too.
Yeah, because like belladonna, this is something that I'm like deep into, but like belladonna can like hurt you because it's poison, but technically they used it in a lot of tinctures for like migraines. And so it's kind of like that. It can kill, but it can also cure.
Yes.
The cute Minecraft pictures.
I have never played it, but I imagine it's a lot of like running around in like huge fields. Is that? What Minecraft
Yeah.
is?
Yeah, yeah. So Minecraft is like a block, like a pixel kind of game, but like I I guess the goal is technically like to get to the end, which is like a different realm, but a lot of it is like pickaxing and like mining for material to get to that, or like and just to survive, honestly.
Okay, so there is drama. There is
And,
peril. You could die.
oh yeah, in Minecraft, yeah. There's
Okay.
also like monsters.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay. But I feel like I was about to say that because of also the poisonous mushroom. I haven't read many cozy fantasies, but I imagine that like it's better when there's also a little bit of danger. Like it's not all just cutesy. So
I kind of like the cozy aesthetics with like a little bit higher stakes.
Mhm.
So of course, like the one of the witch in the book, she is dealing with like a ticking clock of sorts, and so they have to go on this adventure together in order to fix the problem that's come up.
Mhm.
So it's like it's not all cutesy and like cozy, but it's very much underlying of cozy.
Okay, I'm really sorry. I missed the last sentence because I was
Oh, I was saying
distracted. Sorry.
that's okay. I was saying it is like cozy, but because of that ticking clock, there is like a little bit higher stakes, but it still has like those underpinnings of like a cozy element to it.
What is the ticking clock about?
So the witch has she's ingested something that can potentially kill her. Um, and so it's like a metaphor for chronic illness and chronic, like I have chronic
Oh,
migraine. And so that's kind
oh,
of like what she's dealing with too. Um,
I
and
love
so,
that.
yeah,
I
so,
mean, not the migraines, but
right.
yeah.
But yeah, so she's dealing with that. And the idea is that they find something that could cure them or cure her, but obviously it's not going to cure her because
Yeah,
that would be ableist.
yeah, yeah.
So but they're on this adventure to try and find this quote unquote cure.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Also, I'm thinking of a one book that I read that maybe is cozy fantasy, but it's also kind of romantic fantasy, I guess. Um, where like it's I think like a witch who has I don't know if her powers were about flowers or not, but she kind of makes flowers grow in I think it was her father's body, and he's like he might die. Like it's not just pretty flowers. Um, and I don't know. I also felt like it might kind of work as a metaphor or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
My brain just jumped to that. It was also
What is that one called? Do you remember?
oh boy. I have the cover in front of my mind's eye, but not the words. I'll have to look that up during the sprint, and I tell you. Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, but I love that, and I'm also always happy when there's more representation for like chronic illness and disability and stuff
Yeah.
in fantasy. Yeah. I think one idea for this was an iteration before this one, also kind of had an idea of chronic illness. And this one, I guess, does too. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to tackle it. And I don't want it to make it the biggest thing
Mhm.
in the story, but yeah, I don't know. And I guess it also makes sense, when you have migraines, I imagine that at some point maybe you did wish for a cure or something. And so it's
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
kind
a
of
way.
yeah, it's one of those things where it's like it'd be great to have like a way to never have a migraine ever again, but like I know it's
Mhm,
not feasible. Like you can always like mitigate or like
mhm,
try to limit things that would cause them. But at the same point, it's like I've been having this since I was like 9. So it's like at this point,
mhm.
fortunately a part of me in some like weird capacity.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. But I still find the idea cathartic to kind of wrestle with it in the story, at least for me.
yeah, it's been very like it has been very cathartic to do that and kind of like write down like what a bad migraine episode would look like, and kind of like finding the words to put it on the page is because I don't talk about it very often, and I kind of like whenever I have a migraine, I just kind of I try to like ignore it and just like work through it. And so I think kind of like taking a step back and being like, oh hey, let me like acknowledge this thing that I've been dealing with for decades at this point. Like it's been kind of like an interesting way of like looking at it again and kind of being like, oh, like I don't have to just like push it aside. I can like fully recognize that it's something that I deal with.
Right. I hadn't thought about it, and I haven't gotten to that point yet, but yeah, when you write about it, you kind of have to go there
Yeah.
to actually put it on the page. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know Sarita also has migraines.
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
not great.
I guess also
but it is still cozy.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
Katie
someone
Ann.
showed up. Hello. Hi.
Katie Ann just had her book release earlier this month.
Oh my god. I think Lindsay Puckett mentioned that.
Yeah, Backhanded Compliments came out on June 10th.
Oh, congrats!
Yay!
Yeah. I don't know. Since you just showed up, feel free to also share what you're working on now. I don't know. Or are you just laying back now after the release? I don't know. But I guess the work on the book has already like ended years ago, probably. Like not years, but ages ago.
Yeah, I think she's working on book 2 now.
Awesome. Okay. I mean, if you want to, Katie, is it Katie Ann or Katie? It's both, right?
I call her Katie Ann because that's how I was introduced to her as.
Okay, Katie Ann, if you want to give like a pitch of your book, for everybody who is here, so we can check it out. And otherwise, I think we'll start with a sprint soon.
Yeah, that's good. Ooh. Waiting edits on book 2, diving into work on book 3. Love that.
That's awesome. You're like way ahead. So it's a series then. Is it like a fantasy? What am I saying? Is it like a romance, interconnected, standalone situation? Okay, they're both unite. True. Okay,
so,
thank you.
Yeah, Backhanded Compliments was a sapphic romance that was like tennis sports. Like, I mean, Katie Ann can probably pitch it way better than I can right now, but and then I know book 2 has like same universe but different characters. I think that might have been seen in book 1.
I love that. Okay, cool. I have heard, well, I guess it was just from one person, really good things about Cleat Cute, which is like football, sapphic romance. Hi, Jim. Hello, hello. And Rivals Lovers.
She's got that pitch down.
Okay. Sapphic Rivals to Lovers, tennis romance, with a twist that they're literally soulmates. And the bug eyes. Okay. that twist. Like I'm already kind of into it because I I don't know. I don't read a lot of sports romances, but I do read a lot of rom-coms. Um, but soulmates. I'm like my brain is now going like how does it work?
The world building, so intriguing.
Very, very intrigued.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I wish I had a different setup because I have literally her book on my bookshelf, and like had I been in a different setup, I could like show, be like, oh,
Yes.
Backhand Feldman right here.
Okay. Book 2, a sister from one of the FMCs, interconnected. Awesome. Yeah. I love how sometimes they're just big families with like 6 brothers and who knows how many sisters, and so the series can just
Yeah.
go
Continue.
on and on. I love that. Yeah.
I feel like
Jim,
oh, sorry.
sorry. Jim, since you just joined, feel free to share what you're working on. And sorry, Melissa.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that I think like my first time when because I think for the longest time I was so used to like romances that were standalones. And so the first time I read an interconnected romance was like Jen DeLuca's The Well Met series. And I was like, oh, this is so much fun. Like I've already invested in this like writer and these 2 characters, and now I get to like learn about her sister and her romance after having met her in book 1. So I love an interconnected series.
Yeah. Is that the one with like the with like Scottish?
No,
Scottish
that's the
No.
Ren Fair one.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Sounds fair. Yeah. Oh, yeah, he is Scottish. You're right. I think he's Scottish.
Is that the author?
Yeah, Jen DeLuca.
Yeah. Okay.
I just
I'm not really familiar with her, but the title.
Yeah, so it's Well Met and then Well Matched. And I think Well Matched, he's the Scottish guy. And there's Well Traveled and Well Played.
Okay. Zero drafting of book 2. Awesome. So we talked the last time about like how Jim writes real big books.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I don't know, like how far into the story are you now? Also, I am currently reading the first book and loving it. It's an adult fantasy, which I'm still a little bit new to, even though I read a lot of YA fantasy. So he's kind of paving the way for me to get into that genre. Fanfic.
I love.
Wait. Oh, I have heard of that before. Okay. Very interesting. I'll have to check it out. Yes, Sarita is big into fanfic. Yes.
I'm seeing a ton of fanfics becoming like published or like being kind of reimagined and repackaged into like own like original works and then published. So it's, I love this like new, it's not a new trend, but I love that we're seeing it kind of trickle into TradPub.
All right. How did I forget? I just watched your video. Yeah, I'm so sorry. In the climax of the first of 3 locations. 3 separate novel. Wait. I'm reading the book as if it's 3 separate novels. Oh, so you'd wait.
So I'm imagining creating different narratives.
Yes, that's what I'm
thinking. Okay.
Yeah. You might have to clarify if that's not the case. That is also so cool.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of, this is going to be such a throwback, but Lemony Snicket and how sometimes he has like the Baldair children and the other triplets and how they like all have different point of views at some points, and he braids them together really like effectively.
Oh, okay. You see another love. I
Yes,
did not
Allie
know that either.
Hazelwood.
Okay. I'm not up to date, even though I do read a lot of romance.
There's also a bunch of like Hermione fanfic that is coming out. I think if it didn't come out yet, it's going to come out next month in August. There's like 3 or 4 more books that are like Hermione coded that were fanfic on AO3 and now are being published traditionally.
We got an answer. Okay, so we are braiding. It's like 7. Okay.
7 in one location.
Wow.
I'm very, like, I talk with my hands a lot. So okay, there's 7 over here, and there's 3 over here, and then they're going to be braided together.
Oh, well, then there's another 3, right?
Oh,
because
wait.
It's 3 books in one, I thought. If I don't.
Oh, but yeah, 3. Okay, so 7, 3, and 3. That's what I'm getting.
Okay. See, this is one of the reasons why, like, this is what I'm imagining as in like George R.R. Martin books.
Mm-hmm.
This is the kind that is kind of intimidating, but I guess I'm in now, so I'm gonna have to read the first and the second book. Yeah. Sarita may or may not be a fan. Okay. Yeah. Wait. Naomi Novik too. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Here's a good question.
How do you keep it all straight? I feel like
outline. We'll have to give like a talk on this or something, Jim. Sorry. Whoop. Yeah.
I'm curious, like, how and why they all get together, like, and why, like.
Yeah.
Okay, he says extensive outlining.
Okay. That does make sense. I would like to see if you can, like, not you specifically, I'm not trying to challenge you, but if you could write such a complex book, but with pantsing. I don't know.
Maybe. I feel like you'd have to like know. The prospect of pantsing is that you kind of come up with it yourself as you're working it through. I guess you could, but you'd have to probably plot it out like on round 2 for draft 2.
For sure. They don't cross paths.
Oh, okay.
Enlarge. Okay, I love that. It is. I'm in for a long read.
Is there that many POVs in his first book? Is it because I'm thinking this is the second book, right?
I'm very slow, so I think I'm at 21% or something, and I would say, I mean, we have been in. Well, there were also minor POVs, I guess, but we're mainly following so far. And Jim, I don't know if I'm like if like things are going to unspool, but we're following 2 characters that are at the moment also kind of going on the journey together. So
okay,
but we'll see what's awaiting me. Okay, no, that's good.
That makes sense, especially with like that many POVs. Like you kind of gotta work it.
No, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. It's like that one meme from like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where he's like up
Yes.
against the line, like with the
I
red.
for sure would need some sort of
Yes,
visual.
Katie
right?
Ann's with me exactly. Charlie with the red string from Always Sunny.
Okay, we have done successfully 30 minutes of chatting.
Okay.
How do we feel about 25 minutes of sprinting?
Works for me.
Good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So switching over. And here we go.
All right.
Good luck, everyone. All right, hello.
That went fast.
It did. It took me time to get into it. But first, let's say hi to the new friends. Oh, and let's switch over actually. Uh, hi, Charlie Ray. McKenna, hi. Leah, you guys just voila. You guys just had a sprint or a stream.
Oh, wow.
Thank you for being here because I don't know. I imagine I would be fried at the end. Yes, thank you, CK, so much. I need to move this out of the way. Okay, cool. They're ready. The workhorses. Hi, Xenia. That's the first time of me seeing you here. Hi, hi. It did. It went by very, very fast. And Annie, hi. Well, okay.
All the friends.
All of the friends, yes. Yeah, okay, so I mean, you guys who just joined, you can also let us know how it went in the last stream. I don't know. For those who were just sprinting with us, how did it go? And then notification. Oh no. Yeah, it can be difficult. I messed it up too this time and the time before that too.
How did drafting go for you?
Well, technically I wasn't drafting, but I was kind of drafting. I was trying to write some notes on like in an element of my world building or my magic system, which is like kind of magical people who I've dubbed now the Unmakers, which dun dun dun. Anyway, so the thing that I was writing is kind of like a scene between a father and a son, where like they have to be careful with their magic and like what they touch. And so it's kind of a scene, well, I'm only at the beginning, but it's a kind of a scene where the father is trying to caution the boy, you know, not to be running around and messing things up with his magic. And we'll see how it goes. Yeah.
I feel
How
like
about you?
I was gonna say, I feel like when you have
Sorry.
that, like don't mess around with magic. Like he has to mess up with magic, right? Like that's like it's like
Yes.
the rule of like if there's a gun in a movie, like the gun has to be fired.
Yes. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I was only going to write it as a scene just for me to explore and remember what the rules are around the magical people. But if it grows into like kind of a sort of like a mini short story, then yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Something is going to I mean, and it would also show better what actually happens when they break the rules. So I guess I have to do that. Yeah. Just really quick. Ooh, that is impressive. Another 1,500. Okay. Well, then you're in the right place. Okay. Fill the missing action points in my outline. Then it isn't only driven by the bad guy. Feeling good. I love that.
Nice.
You will have to give me all the deeds later. Or you can also share them here if you want to. That is so cool. I'm happy you could move forward. Okay.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yes, exactly. Amazing. I mean, and I think it's kind of genius, even though I didn't think of it in this way, but to have it be a kid because kids don't heed the rules, they just don't. Let's see, figure out the logistics. action sequences. Yes.
I would
Mhm.
imagine so. It would give you a headache because there's so many stories intertwined there.
Yeah. And also, since there are so many characters, as I understood,
Yeah.
I don't know. Dana was in her last video was talking about she was also writing, I think, a climax scene, and it had like 16 people. It wasn't an action scene, but it was a dinner scene with like 16 people at the dinner table. And to me, that is,
That's a lot.
it
You gotta
sounds like
balance that so
headaches.
well. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you also can't lose the people. I mean, you can fix everything in editing, obviously, but yeah. It's chapter
Yay.
10. Ooh, 20K. That's awesome.
That's great. Mm.
Brainstorming for book 3. Oh, okay. Yeah.
I do feel like the best kind of brainstorming you can do though is with a friend and kind of like just like bouncing ideas back and forth off of each other. It can be so much fun to do. And like
Yes.
even when you're a little tipsy, that's even better.
I imagine, yeah. How did you have the brainstorming though? Was it handwritten notes on your phone? Did you record something? Because before then I was like on these little notes. I had a moment where I was like, what is that word? I don't know what you wrote there. Um,
Yeah,
right.
I'm outlining Project Mushroom right now. I'm trying to not give into the new Brainworm project yet. Um, but we'll see if that lasts the entire stream. I might dip in a little bit.
Do you have any details on that brainworm project?
Yes. Okay, so quick backstory
She's ready.
I'm ready.
Please.
So in my family we have an apple orchard that's been in the family since we came over to America, or like thereabouts. And so I've always had like the idea of wanting to write something that has like about like dual timeline of some sort, like working with your ancestors in a certain way. Um, and so I'm calling it Project Apple because Apple Orchard. Um, and
Apple,
it's,
mushroom.
yeah,
Yes.
you can see the theme here, very nature based. And so the idea is it's in the vein of like Wayward, where there's two different timelines. One is a past timeline of a woman, and there's a local story that's a historical thing that happened to a woman who is accused of being a witch, and so I'm kind of basing it off of her. But instead of like, I don't know if it's instead of her dying or like before she dies, she inherits this land, and then generations down the line, our other protagonist is present day, and she's inheriting the land. And kind of like all the trials and tribulations that come with inheriting like an ancient manor, and kind of like not quite knowing her family, but trying to learn who her family was along the way. And like as she restores the land, she learns more about her ancestors.
That sounds so nice.
That's the story I have kind of concocting right now.
Very cool. And it's kind of meta, I imagine, because you're probably also
Yeah, it's
family stuff.
I texted my mom and I was like, because my mom used to work on the apple orchard, and I was like, all right, I have questions. I'm gonna need some answers from you about all these things. And she's like, oh yeah. She's like, she always like told me these stories growing up about like her like during the fall, like collecting the apples, and her brothers would like climb up the trees really, really high, like all these apples, and she couldn't because she was the girl, so she had to collect the lower hanging ones. Or like my great grandfather.
That is such metaphor. Like
yeah, like being able to
and you have to keep to the lower hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I totally agree. And so I feel like that's kind of going to be woven in there a little bit. Or like my great grandfather, like brewing like cider or mead, fermented apples as like a type of alcoholic substance when like the when I guess I guess it was when the prohibition was
Mm-hmm.
around because my grandfather was in 1920, and that was around that time period.
Juicy. Okay. Sounds really cool. Okay. Okay, that wow. That sounds really difficult to untangle.
I'm glad you
But
recorded it
that's
though.
awesome.
that's
Yeah.
that's good to be like, all right, I'm not gonna remember any of this. So let me hit the record button now.
Yeah. I don't know if you had that thought while you were already tipsy or just before, but very good.
Give into the brainworm, yes.
Yeah. A curse.
I either real or yeah. I love
Mm.
like using witchy speculative elements to kind of give give a fantasy element to generational trauma and like kind of like showing that it's a curse, but like I love exploring like grief and trauma. That's like my thing.
Fun. Yeah.
So that's always going to be kind of like woven into things that I write.
Everyone is loving this story. That's
That's
so
great.
cool.
That's good.
Okay.
Oh, Katie says it really is a brainworm because apples. Yeah,
mm.
true.
And so the orchard still exists?
It
You still
does.
have
It
it?
belongs to my mom's cousin now, so he has it, and he's doing like it's not like to the capacity that it used to be,
Mm.
because he works a full-time job, like so he's
Yeah.
doing he has like I think a pumpkin patch that he like for the fall he'll like grow the pumpkins and like sell off the pumpkins to like people who want to carve jack-o'-lanterns.
Right.
But yeah, we still own it.
Very cool. Okay. Um, again, I have the wrong banner going. I don't know how people do this. It's like probably comes with practice. Um, da, da. Yeah. I don't know what it is. I feel like I'm not yet ready to
Mm,
go there. Like I
yeah,
know that all of this difficult stuff is in my story, but so far I'm like, like let's not make all the
yeah.
terrible things happen. And I don't know. This draft is kind of superficial so far.
And I feel like the farther you get into the book too, like it'll be less of a like, oh, like this is in the corner. We're not going to look at it yet, but it exists. But it's like in the back of my head. And then like the
Mhm.
more I feel like you write, the more you're like, okay, like I've got to draw this back in. I've got to weave this back into the story. So let me kind of like do a quick look at it and look away. And then eventually it's gonna be like, okay, let's actually take a look at this, dissect it, and then weave it into the story when you're like when you feel comfortable with it. I think it's like
Mm,
a process of getting used to talking about it and writing about it.
yeah. Thank you for saying that. That, yeah. I feel like I have to ease into it. Also, since it's like I am a beginner, so yeah. But I do feel like because I remember also as I was talking the other day with Sarita about like character motivation and stuff, I feel like I have the opposite problem of hers. Like I have set for all my four characters what their motivation is, and it's kind of dramatic and stuff like that. But at the moment, they're just doing what the plot says, essentially what they're supposed to do. But I have this character who, like, she's supposed to want revenge, and like something terrible happened to like her family that
Mhm.
erased like their whole basis of existence, I guess. And that is not there.
Mm.
So, okay. Right.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I didn't even think about that.
I don't know. It has apparently it hasn't done that for me yet, but maybe it will help when I actually sit down and say, okay, Tanya, yeah, let's do this scene that is actually difficult, and maybe it will be easier than it would have been in German. So
Yeah.
Power, honor, and belonging. Listen, belonging.
Belonging is huge.
Yes.
That's like, those are some, like really powerful like themes right there, though. I've got to say.
Yes. I don't know. Not every book has to have grief and trauma.
Yeah. Totally true. I feel like we all can use like something a little bit more uplifting, and like belonging is such a huge aspect of like that uplifting, like found family quality that like people always go for that too.
Yes. And I guess if you have that theme and it's something we're like moving toward during the story, then we do have to start somewhere where someone doesn't belong yet. And that is also really hard hitting, I feel like. Yeah. Ooh. I haven't looked back yet, but I don't know. Yeah, maybe if I look at what I have written so far, maybe there is parts of it there.
I feel like you might like internally put it in there, but then not like actually look at it, you know? But Katie's totally right. Like your subconscious might be working on it, and if you're not ready like to work on it, that's totally okay. It does take time to like process and kind of write it.
Thank you guys. That's so sweet. Yes. Found family.
So
I
good.
love that. I think my 3 favorite tropes are found family, heists, and pirates. Ooh. Which also very easily go together, I feel like.
you got like heisting and the pirates, and then like you have to make a team, which is a found family of sort. Yes. I love it. I feel like mine are found family, enemies to lovers.
Mm-hmm.
And then I do love like an only one bed. Like mm-hmm. Not all together. To be clear.
Possible,
but
if we have a polyamorous big family.
There you go.
Bed. Yeah. Oh my god. Yes, Jim, please. I would read it even if it's like 1,000 pages. Yeah. We do love them. Enemies to lovers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Or I would say like even rivals to lovers, like if there are 2 people competing for like
Katie Ann.
Spot. yeah, exactly. Katie Ann's with her like we both want this like coveted this like spot, like winning this trophy, like, but like it's not because like we're hating each other because like you're a bad person or I'm a bad person. It's like we equally want this thing and we're gonna work our hardest to get to that thing.
And it would also kind of be heartbreaking if one of them doesn't get it.
Right. Love pirates.
Okay, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I don't know. Like, give me a story where we are on the ocean. Like, even seafarers, even if they're not pirates, I'm here. But like pirates is even better. I love that. Yes. Soulmates. Okay. Makes sense with your book then.
Yeah. Ooh, fake dating and arranged marriage. Yeah. Oh, or like where the person's like, that's my wife. And they like come running into the
Wait. I'm not familiar with that. I don't
think. So like the idea is like it's fake dating and like they don't actually like each other, but then like there's something that the like maybe the female protagonist, assuming that it's a hetero relationship, the female protagonist is like in a slightly dangerous situation, and then the male protagonist comes and he's like, you can't do that, that's my wife, and he like protects her, and that's like the moment, like I love that moment where it's like they finally call each other like by the terms of endearment that they've chosen.
Okay. Yeah. Which is it then? Is it the one that just got out? And if so, please plug the title again.
Yeah, that's Backhanded Compliments. That came out on June 10th. Yeah, do not take my family that ever again.
Okay. Yes. Are they ever even gonna end up together? Yeah.
I love a slow burn.
Yeah. I don't know. If it's happening like 5 pages in, I'm like, what is even the point of keeping on reading? I don't know. Okay.
Ooh, okay.
Fanfic knowledge. Do you have like encyclopedic knowledge of all the fanfic tags? That is like a fun superpower.
Yeah, I didn't know that that was like a tag for like protective, whoever it may be.
Yeah, but I feel like I have seen it somewhere, maybe. Fun family, sweet romance, honor, functional relationships, yes, we love them. Clever problem solving with magic or science. Oh, I love that, yes.
Yeah.
Give me like a problem where I'm like, I don't know how you would solve that, and they come up with a good solution. I love that.
You know who's really good that I can think of is it's a YA fantasy and it's a heist of a found family. It's called, is it Gilded Wolves?
I have that on my TBR. Yes,
it is. Okay, I have not.
I heard it has like what is it called? It has puzzles.
Yes.
Something? Yes.
Yes. So it's the first book in a series. I read this like years ago, so my memory's not quite as good as it used to be about it. But it's this like these a group of people who come together in order to do this heist in Paris, I think, or it's like vaguely French. And it has all these puzzles that they do, and it's like they just have really creative solutions to the problems that the world has built around them, that the author has like built in this world building. I loved it.
Okay. Moving up on the TBR. I love it. Bodyguard romance. Ooh.
I'm curious how, because like obviously you have bodyguard romance and like in like a romance setting, but I'm curious how like it works in a fantasy setting, like a political fantasy setting. Like, does the bodyguard have magic? Does the romantic interest have magic? Like,
ooh, also like if one of them has magic and it's a secret, but they're like constantly together because one of them is the bodyguard.
And like, do they keep that secret from everyone else?
Magical school.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yes.
Yeah.
That's fun too. It's kind of fun. Like you get to imagine that you're at the school and you get to learn all this fun stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. But what is the other one then? I think I only know AO3.
There was fanfic.net, which was that's what I was on for a while there back in the early 2010s. I didn't make the switch over to AO3, which is why I'm not as familiar as the tags these days.
Okay. Whoa. Magic
Yeah, this Gilded Wolves, so good.
Beautifully written.
Yeah.
Say no more. Okay.
Ooh,
okay. So Leia doesn't have magic.
Okay.
But probably also still secrets, right?
Oh yeah.
Medieval period.
I think so.
Sounds good. Oh, okay. We have a big fan.
Yeah. Yeah, I have her second and third on my bookshelf, but I haven't gotten around to reading them yet. But the first one is great.
I think I'm remembering now. I think I tried the audiobook because I mostly read audiobooks. And I wasn't in love with the narrators or the narration or something, but I'll have to try again. And if it's not the audiobook, then I would probably still read it in audiobook because it's just easier for me. Okay, I feel like we've been chatting a lot of time again. But just
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Taking notes.
Mary Robinette Kowal. I know her from that podcast with don't tell me I'm blanking on the name. Brandon Sanderson. Yeah. Functional relationships. Okay, I love it. Magical problem solving. I love it. Okay. All the good book recommendations. Isn't magic necessary for fantasy? No, of course not. I would say no.
Yeah, I guess that's an interesting question, right?
I feel like I've read books that are in a world that isn't our world and also isn't our actual history, and there wasn't magic, and it can still feel fantastical.
Yeah, I guess my question would be like, can you have like dragons? Like even like they technically have magic, but like you know what I'm saying? Like could you have creatures that like are not what we would have here? Because that would still make it fantasy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess you can have fantasy without magic.
I'm trying to think what I read that didn't have magic. Isn't that just historical fiction? I don't know. I mean, if it's not the actual history, though, if it's like a fantasy version, like.
Well,
I mean, I guess in that point, it's like.
You could have like a steampunk fantasy that has no magic in it.
Okay,
like
so you will have more technology.
Elements, yeah, if all the fantasy elements are like more science-based than magic.
But we are in like medieval. Oh god, the chat is a little bit too quick. Yes, writing excuses. Have a soul. Okay. Another recommendation. Okay, here we go. Jim, let's see. According to fantasy is right. He has like videos on the genres and stuff, so he knows his stuff. Fantasy is a reality genre. Whenever the rules of our world are altered, it becomes fantasy. Okay. I don't know. It's difficult. It for sure is difficult. Let's see. Da-da-da.
People are really having good opinions about this.
Oh boy.
Just based on the chat, I just see it like scrolling up.
I hope we're not like discouraging you. Yeah. If it is a second, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like a second world. Like this world doesn't exist. It's inspired, but it doesn't exist. Yeah. Whew. Historical fantasy is different from historical. Okay, so here's another source on this question. Ursula Le Guin.
Yeah. She wrote. I'm trying to remember the book that I read by her.
Yeah, same. so sorry, Leah. I'm so sorry. I mean, since you're writing in this very specific form of fantasy, you probably have other books too that are similar that you've read or heard of. So, like, if you have them, drop them in the chat and prove us wrong.
Slightly different coats.
Yes. Wizard of Earthsea. Yeah.
I think it was actually Lavinia, if I'm looking at it correctly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe, even though the debate is very, very fascinating, we might not get, for one, to a solution that we all like, but also we might need to get back to writing.
Mm.
What do y'all think? That is difficult. That is true. That is the difference. Low fantasy.
Mm.
Yeah. That is true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yes. Let's do it.
Katie wants to write.
Yeah. Okay. Mhm. Yeah, okay. Bye bye, CK. Thank you for being here.
Good luck.
And good luck. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So when we're done, we're going to hop onto the next one.
Mhm.
All right. Let's see. Switching over. And let's go. Good luck with writing.
That would surprise me. I feel like I was in a flow.
Yeah. I'm really thinking and considering if like my next stream I'm going to like go for a longer sprint because yeah, I don't know, I feel like one could get in more of a flow for a
Yeah.
little bit longer. That
I
could be
wonder,
nice.
like 30 minutes might be good then.
Yeah, yeah. Or like, ooh, or no, I'm thinking because Kate Kavanaugh, who does like a lot of regular sprints
streams.
on Twitch, I feel like she plays around with the times and stuff, but I think she had like a steps down thing at one
Yeah.
point. I think that could be cool. Like start with 10 just to get the ball rolling and then work ourselves up to longer ones. I don't know,
Yeah.
that could be cool. Anyway, yeah, hi, where was it? Okay, I already had it up. Hi, Katie. What a cute name too. Paperbacks and ponytails. Okay. 5 minutes, 2 paragraphs. That's amazing.
Nice.
Yeah, let me just you can already start saying what you did and let me just finish one sentence.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, so I went ahead and so I'm still outlining my project here because I have what I've already written, my draft 0 on one screen, and then I have my outline. So I'm just kind of like taking what I had and putting it into this outline. I decided to move a couple of things around. So like my chapter 8 is now like chapter 13. So that was like one thing that I was finding when I was writing for the first time was I felt like events were happening really fast. And so because I just wanted to get there and draft it. But now I think they're going to flow better this way. So I'm now outlined up to chapter 11.
That's cool. I haven't done this before, but I always wonder how you make it work. Like when you take an event and put it elsewhere.
Yeah.
Because then the context changes, right?
Yeah. So this is like the specific chapter I'm looking at is like actually the climax. So yay. I just saw everyone writing their words. So like that was the climax. So like moving it doesn't change a ton. It just makes the events flow better this way.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. So yeah, Leah wrote, what a great number. 222. Yay. Charlie Ray, 786. Yay. That's like, is that like just over the middle of what, I don't know, just over half of what you wanted to do in this stream? Because you said 1,500, I think.
Good memory.
Because in that case, that's really good. I'll have to check out your channel. Writing my first novel, such a pantser. I feel like I found out that I'm much more of a pantser than I thought in the beginning, and I'm also a beginner. Or I don't know if you're a beginner, but it's also my first novel. Same. I'm such a planner, or at least I've always been one.
I feel like I'm a pantser, and like I kind of knew that, but then I have to then plot out the second time around because I kind of like have all the ideas, and then they go like on the sides of the margins of the notes, and then that's where I fit them in.
I feel like that might be my process too. Yeah, or something along that along those lines. Sarita has figured out some gaps in the outline, had a scene idea, drafted a bit into my outline. Yes, that's just how it happens. That's awesome. Sounds really good.
Yeah.
Big breakthroughs. We love it. What is that? Oh, sorry. What was that now? Jim, a rough zero draft of the scene. Yay! Awesome. That's awesome.
Yay.
That is a good thing to start with. Yes. Yes. If I close my eyes. Okay, I love that. I love that. I have done that sometimes with dictation, which obviously is much easier to do. Do you write by typing and like? I feel like that also. Sorry, I keep being reminded of things, but I have an Alpha Smart where you like only have like this teeny tiny little bit of screen. So I don't know. That could also work. But I kind of love this because it drops you more in the scene, I feel like.
Yeah. Sometimes I find like I'll type and I'll like just like look at the ceiling and just
Yes.
like either for like just like give your neck a break from like looking at the or like also it makes you almost like envision the scene better somehow. Like if you close your eyes or if you look away from the screen, and that way like you can kind of see it play like the movie in your head rather than like writing the words down.
Yes. Yes. I love with dictation to like nowadays I will walk around with my phone in my hand and then walk around in my room, or I've also done it outside sometimes, but in the room the zoning out works better, and I would just like look in the middle distance. Since I know my room very well, I could also close my eyes. I think that could also help. 150 words of dialogue. Yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like dialogue.
Midnight. Is it midnight?
I don't know where they are.
Oh, right. You're in Vietnam. Yeah. So you're ahead. That makes sense. So it's allowed, I think. And that's still good. Sorry, what did you want to say, Melissa?
Oh, no, I was just saying that dialogue is like tricky. So like 150 words of dialogue is still good.
Jim says it might be easier to pants your first novel. A good way to start. Yeah. I also feel like at the beginning I did need this kind of well, it was essentially like a waiting phase where I would do a lot of planning and no writing. And so it was kind of me waiting around. But where was I going? I think it would help me. It would have helped me to just go into it and not overthink it. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. I'm at the moment, this is not me drafting necessarily, but I'm writing by hand and I really like it. Yeah. But I feel like it would be easier to type with your eyes closed than write with your hands. Because you kind of also always are a little bit blind to the keyboard as you type, right? So you kind of know where the keys are.
I feel like if I was writing by hand while like eyes closed, eventually I feel like I might like write over.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Same to the looking up to the ceiling. Plus not letting yourself to reread it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
I hope you get the rest of the words in at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, they were close.
I have this issue with the motivation to leave the house. I don't know what it is. It's always a thing for me to like get over some sort of hump. Yeah.
I feel like it's like you're comfortable at home.
Sorry?
I said I feel like it's like you're comfortable at home, so it's like why would you want to like despite needing like to do adult things, but like why would you want to leave?
Yeah. Something like that, definitely. It always takes me hours. I always say that I'm going to go grocery shopping early in the morning because I love when the store is empty.
Yeah.
But then it's always hours later. Yeah. You should have less typos though, yeah. I guess. I feel like I don't know if I do that by typing, but when I write by hand, I notice that sometimes I would just forget the last letter or something.
Hmm.
Yeah, different kind. Um, yeah, so I wrote about a page, I think, more of this little short story, I guess. It's a little bit heartbreaking because essentially it's like this father who like just wants his boy to get to play like the other kids,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the boy has kind of had to learn um, to hide his magic in a way that makes him seem more aggressive and clumsy and like just makes him more of an outcast.
Mm.
Even though he's not, even though he's hiding the magic that would also make him kind of an outcast.
Yeah. So I'm like, is this your like protagonist that is the kid, or is it like an adjacent story that doesn't have to do with the plot quite yet?
It's kind. I'm not 100% sure. Honestly, I was first thinking because I have a character who, like, this could be him maybe with his father who has died when the story starts, and yeah, it's for me right now. It's kind of it is him, but also I'm just calling them the father and the boy, and I don't really know.
Yeah. Okay.
But it could also function as me exploring this character's backstory and like how he felt as a child.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good like homework to like do too, so you like fully understand the character.
Yeah. And I've never done that before. I don't know. Have you done that?
I've done it with like another project where I wrote essentially 40,000 words.
Hi.
Hi. Of what I thought was going to be a YA novel. But I realized those 40,000 words were actually just backstory that I needed to know.
Yeah.
And then I cut almost all of them because it was like essentially I was writing a book where like the protagonist goes to a magical academy, but then like the actual like real action started when she left the academy, and I was like, well, that's not a YA novel, that's adult then. And so, but all that backstory I needed to know in order to know who she was.
And did you feel more
I felt
connected with her?
Yeah, I feel like I knew her and her friends a lot better because it has that found family trope. But I was like, I can't know how the group all works together unless I know how they all met and how they all work together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good foundation to have. I think we missed the advice.
I don't know what that refers to.
A friend of mine gave advice for beginners: don't go back and edit your first draft as you go. Keep writing till the end, then go back. Most new authors don't finish the first draft. If they continue to edit as they go. Yeah, totally. I think if you, there you go. If you edit as you go, you might not ever get to the end because you can always tweak and perfect something. But yeah, editing or not editing and just drafting is the best way to complete a novel, I feel like.
Yeah. I honestly felt tempted a little bit. I'm like at the middle of my story. And I am kind of stopping right now to like work on my magic system and maybe on my characters a little bit. But I had this moment where I was tempted to just rewrite the first half just so it's better. And then from there, like the rest will fall into place and just be better from the start. But I think I'm not going to do that.
I think that's what I kind of did with my fast drafting on Project Mushroom, where I was like, I had most of the major pieces in order, and then there was like I just mentioned, the climax was like in the wrong chapter.
Mhm.
But like that's an easy fix. I'll be like, okay, once I outline it, I know it's in chapter like 13 or whatever it may be. But I was so excited to like get to that next stage and to start editing and like refining it. That I'm like, I didn't technically finish draft 0, but I could totally spend all that time now fixing and perfecting it, but I'm trying to outline it first, that I know what's going on next.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
first
that is exactly the thing that I'm trying to avoid. Like having a nice first half and then never the second half would also kind of suck.
yeah.
Yeah. Did you have a book that went in the trunk, like both to Jim but also to Melissa?
Yeah, I have the first book I ever wrote, I was a teenager, so that's never going to see the light of day.
Yeah.
That went straight into the trunk. And so, and I've written like
But you
other
finished
books.
it? Or
Yeah, that was
almost?
finished. I don't know how many words it was. I
Nice.
finished it in like, this was 10 years ago, I think, or something like that. But yeah, that's in the trunk.
But that's impressive still. Like at least then you knew that you can like get to the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Rita knows it.
Yeah.
Almost 50,000. Yay! That's awesome. Make notes if you think of something. Yes. I think I should do that too. I don't know. I don't know where I would put my notes. I feel like I would need some sort of system because I always end up with too much stuff everywhere.
Do you write? Like, I know you said you type, but like, do you type in a certain program? Like Word?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I dictate with the draft. I do have Scrivener, but that is I just dump it in the transcript, and yeah, that I don't know. Do you have one?
I've been using Google Docs, and then anytime I like think of a note, Your Back in Ponytail says, like I'll make a little comment and I'll make the note there, and that way it's like in an organized way to look at notes later for like outlining or like read when I'm editing. I can like throw in a note that I made to myself earlier into this new draft.
Why did I not think of that? Because in Scrivener you can also make notes.
Yeah.
And like at the moment I'm only treating it as like dumping my words there, and I don't really look at my Scrivener at the moment.
Yeah.
But you do have the function there to put the notes. Yeah, I should do that.
And that way it's not like on, like on pieces of paper or like in your head that you're trying to keep it, or like on your notes app, like it's all in one place.
Yeah. And it can be linked to a specific point also in the draft.
Right.
A preteen book.
Wow.
Wow. But you really got your, what is it called? Your raps in? Your raps? I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like Jim is prolific here.
Yeah. Oh no, a nonfiction book on writing. Do you think you will ever write something on writing, like a nonfiction thing? Like again, I don't know. A traveler's notebook. Spoilers! Beware. Yeah, that's good. I feel like that is the best when you kind of have everything in the same place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have had to start over a few times with Scrivener because I had like so many notes, because again, I was starting with like too much planning and plotting. And then I had to scrap all of that, and at the moment it's pretty minimal, and that's much better for me. Yeah. What is this? Teeth cut?
Oh yeah, I think that was a comment to Jim for like cutting his teeth on projects. Like that's the phrase I think you might have been looking for.
No, I was thinking, I think it's like a thing in sports, but I don't know the word. It doesn't matter. Okay. Okay.
Night.
Good luck with your
Or I
sprint.
guess night, I don't know. I was like, oh, it's bedtime.
Yeah. Okay, again, I don't know how long we've been chatting.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh,
I just see the we've been on for 2 hours.
yeah. I also didn't. I forgot to put myself a little timer. We can do a short sprint after this one. Fine. Yeah. Okay.
Makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. Do we think we have time for, I don't know, a 15-minute sprint or something?
Yeah. I'm cool with a little short one just to kind
of. Okay. Switching over. And right, I have to kind of change it. Does it not change? Does it look different? Okay, now.
There we go.
Okay. Let's go.
Hello.
Oh my god.
Does it scare you?
Yeah. Got it right, and my pen just swished. um, okay.
How's that sprint for you?
I feel like every time I need to find my place again. But yeah, just continuing. I feel like again I'm maybe overwriting a little bit, but that's fine. It's fine. It's fine. And I have reached kind of like a point where we're now switching to the scene where something is going to go wrong. Like we've established these are the rules, and now the next scene will be uh, the boy going off doing his thing and things going wrong. I'll have to think on the idea on how I'm going to make this work. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I've made a section in my outline because one thing I was doing was like just kind of like writing scenes that I wanted to happen that I was like, I'll incorporate this down the line, and now it's down the line.
Mhm.
So now I've got to actually weave them in somewhere. So I just made a section called like additional scenes unaccounted for, and I just kind of like copy and pasted them over so that I knew that in this outline they somehow have to fit in here. And so I've been just kind of like been finding them and putting them in, and then we've now moved past the climax, and we're up in like, I guess, yeah, we're like heading towards like the falling action a little bit, but like very high up towards the climax, still not like down more.
Mhm.
And so I'm just kind of like making sure the story is still flowing, but I only think I adjusted to like, I only think that I did like a chapter and a half really.
Okay. So the scenes unaccounted for, is that like throughout the whole book? Or
There's
is
just
that for that section?
Yeah, there's just a couple that like I just threw in with like a little note that just said like weave this in later. So it's like
Yeah.
throughout the entire book. But with the outline, I'm trying to throw them back into like where they belong.
Right.
Very chaotic.
That's kind of hard brain work, I feel like. More mean to myself.
I think yeah, this is
That's to the way that you
yeah.
said.
I was like, can you like
Please.
some of them are not that nice. Some of them this one was just like, please end this chapter better, thanks. Other ones are like, please fix this, or like
Yeah.
like yeah.
Yeah. When you just say make it better, fix it, that's like you don't have to add the mean words as well.
Writing a book is hard enough. You don't have to make it harder on yourself by yelling at future you.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, did you do anything that helps with the migraines?
Yeah, making sure that you're eating, drinking water. I don't know like what the onset of your migraines usually looks like, but make sure that you're taking time to rest.
Yeah. But it makes sense that you didn't get to the writing then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sugar. Okay. It happens. Yeah. What about you, Jim? How did it go? Did you get to writing? Oh, also this is still going. Ended in a good place. So started editing an audiobook. It's about writer's block. Oh, that's so wow. Okay.
Good.
I'm very curious. What does it look like when you edit an audiobook? It sounds fun. Again, I love audiobooks and I love listening to things. So like is this editing just like the words? Or is this also looking at how it's narrated? I don't know. Anyway, interesting work, Jim.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
Oh, it's like editing a video, but with no video. Oh, so just like, okay. So it's actually the audiobook, not like a document that isn't typed up.
okay, so you're editing the actual
Audio
track.
files. Yeah, the track.
Okay. Mm.
That's cool.
That sounds like something that I'd like to do. Yeah, really cool. To be honest, I won't be able to stay much longer because
That's okay. Yeah.
at some point I need to go to the bathroom. I've been sipping tea the whole time. Yeah, but also I'm parched too. Oh yes, that is so cool. Maybe I should go into sound engineering.
I feel like it goes hand in hand with like creating
Makes
YouTube
sense.
videos.
Yeah. Oh, actually, maybe I wouldn't like it because the part about video editing that I don't like is the cutting everything together. So yeah, maybe not.
But if it's just the audio, then it's not anything to do with like the visuals.
Yeah. I don't know, but like when I edit myself, it's mostly about the words that I say. So it's not that different, maybe? I don't know. Why'd you say that? I do love the audio element. Yeah. Ooh.
There you go.
Yes. That would be, yeah. So you didn't work on the brainworm project.
I didn't. Yeah. I think I'm trying to be very what's the word?
Disciplined?
Not disciplined. Yeah, I was thinking like regimented. Disciplined and trying to focus on doing the outline for Project Mushroom, and then I think my reward is like if we hop off stream is to then work on Project Apple Studios.
That's, yeah. I kind of would love to have like a reward project, like a fun side project, but so far nothing else
is sparking.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you always have like several ideas at the same time?
I have like a literal notebook of different ideas that kind of like because I can't write all of them obviously at once, so I just kind of like write major key notes about each project I want to write. And like I've like yesterday 2 days ago I made like a mood board for like the ones that are like in high top contention of like what I want to work on next. And so that's kind of like where I made a mood board for like Project Mushroom, Project Apple, and then a couple other ones that like linger in the background.
That's so cool. That is so cool. Yeah. I've recently gotten into mood boards.
Like Canva is super helpful with that. I was not into mood boards until like more recently.
Yeah. Yeah, I've also done it in Canva, but this time, and I saw it in a video by Charlie Ray. She did something that I also want to do at some point, and I've started technically, is like a mood board for characters.
Ooh, I do like that.
Yeah, and she did it in Canva on a whiteboard. So like not with the template, but like where you have unlimited space. And I kind of loved that, doing that. I essentially had like 3 or 4 things all on the same whiteboard, and like I can go with whatever dimensions I want to. So that was cool.
I just sent you the mood boards on Discord just so you can see like what they look like.
Yeah.
Yes, shiny objectification for sure.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Quicker reward. Understandable. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like maybe I will get into short stories. So far, I've always found them as a concept. Like, I've not really done it, but as a concept, they always seemed so difficult to me. But yeah, maybe I will do a couple. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like short stories are nice because then, like, despite the fact that there's less time conceptually to like finish what you want to say, it is shorter, and then like potentially you can submit it to like literary magazines if you wanted to and get that like gratification of like being accepted or
Scary. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
In fantasy, I hear so many good things about this one story. But I haven't read it. It's literally a short story, I think. In fantasy, what's it called? The Seven Lives of the Saint or something like that.
Is it the 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle?
No, it's not.
Oh.
No. What is it? 70 or something?
The 7 Deaths of a Saint is by Alex E. Harrow.
Yes. Thank you.
No, you were right. I was putting in an actual novel length book in my head that I was like, oh, this one.
Right. Okay. Maybe I should study that because apparently there's great character development and world building in like such a condensed form, and everybody is raving about that. So
yeah.
Oh, which one? The Seven Deaths or the what was it?
It's also called the 7. I think it's 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. There you go. Yeah, Evelyn Hardcastle. That one's interesting because it's like body hopping in a way. It's like kind of Groundhog's Day, but like with a murder mystery aspect. But the protagonist is like swapping into different people at the like place where the murder is taking place.
So into the dead body?
No, so like there's a bunch of people that like are at the cat, like I guess it's like a manor, and the protagonist is swapping into the other people who are attending that manor. Like there's like a dinner or something, and so you're trying to figure out who killed the person, but by inhabiting that person's body. To like figure out who did it.
Okay. Interesting. Oh, hi. Someone is joining. We're not going to go too long anymore, but where was that other stream again? Someone said,
I think was it CK was?
CK and Araya, I think. God, I wish I had the link. That would be cool. If someone has the link in the chat, maybe.
Let me see if I can find it. Probably. Oh, here it is. Oh, that takes me to Google Calendar. That didn't do anything. It's in Discord.
Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah. Let's figure that out. Yeah. Anyway, so I've been working on world building for a YA fantasy. Brainstorming ideas for Pastry Chef Rebels Lovers.
Love that.
Is that like a next book in the series or something? Or is it... Because I've heard that pitch before, but I don't know if it's the same book. Voila.
That's the link. If you want to go.
Okay, yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. Oh, okay. That's awesome. Really cool. Uh, oh, hey, Zinnia. Okay.
Night. Yeah, I think she said
Yeah,
it
I
was
don't know how long
midnight.
this has gone for you. Thank you so much for being here, Zinnia. I hope that you got something out of it. And see you. Yeah. And I don't know, maybe we should also wrap it up soon.
Yeah,
What do you
that's
think?
fine. This was great. This is for my first stream. I feel like this was a good
And I
event.
have to say, you're like you seem like a total natural.
Oh,
No, seriously. You're so good at just like engaging in the chat and like you
thank
seem
you.
totally natural. I love it. Yeah.
I was definitely nervous to start, so I'm glad to hear I was faking it till I make it.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's the first time that I've really spoken to you, so I don't
Yeah.
know how you would be not normally, but yeah. Okay. So yeah, thank you to everyone who was here. And anyone who still wants to write, hop on over to that other stream.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. Do you have anything to plug? Do you think you're going to do more streams in the future?
I feel like I might. I think now that I've, kind of done the first one, I might do more streams in the future. But I definitely would need like a co-host or like someone to like come along with me. But yeah, I mean, I've got my Instagram and my YouTube. The Written Adventure is just kind of my name across all platforms. Yes, that's it.
Written Adventure. Awesome. Great name, by the way.
Thank you.
I'm totally about to slip into German here as well. So, okay. So thank you to everyone and see you soon.
All right. Bye.